Hello! So I watched a documentary of sorts yesterday called How to Be a Good Mother, which basically showed several mothers who think they're doing it right, basically. There was one mother in it who felt like we were wrapping up our children in cotton wool too much. So she didn't want to do that with her children. So it was a bit weird. She put her baby on a bike without a helmet, and she didn't think it needed a helmet and stuff, and I thought, well, it's one thing to let your children explore the world, but it's a completely different thing to get on a bike and cycle up and down the road with your baby of about a year old or something without a helmet on. It's not about exploring the world or wrapping up in cotton wool. A helmet is for safety, like wearing a seatbelt, basically. If a car had hit her or something, there wouldn't really have been an excuse for why her baby wasn't wearing a helmet, I don't think. I thought that was just absurd, really. It's not... Her logic to it wasn't sound. There was another mother in the show who had never used nappies, which I thought was quite unusual. You'd have to be quite committed to the not use of nappies in order to do this, I think, because if it's your first child and so forth, and you've just got a child, and then you decide not to use nappies at all, then you've got to be pretty wanting to jump into it, and I imagine that people all around you would want to know why you were doing it, I guess. But I'm still not quite sure how it works, because they were saying that they understand their baby more, because, you know, they'd grasped a communication between them, so that they understood when their child needed to go to the toilet in order to put it on the potty, and therefore they never needed a nappy because they just got it communicated to them. And they also never have to do potty training because they've already done that from the get-go. Which is all well and good. When your baby is, you know, a year old or something, then it can communicate to you and that'd be okay. But when it's a newborn baby, because you said you never used nappies, which makes me wonder how it works out, because when it's a newborn, I'm not sure it would have the communication to be able to tell you once it's first born, you know, when it wants to. It's not going to be able to tell you. And it's going to. I don't know how long it would take to teach them to tell you and how to tell you and stuff. And so I'm not really quite sure how that works. I mean, I'm fairly sure it works when they're older, but I'm still not sound on the logic of how it works when they're an actual baby. One of the other mothers, she believed in eating the placenta, but not like when it's first there, but she sort of froze it, defrosted it, cooked it, dried it, cooked it, cut it up, smashed it into bits, and then put them in little capsules, because she thought the placenta would be good to have when you're in the menopause, which seemed quite odd to me, because I thought, well, maybe eating the placenta is good for you. I'm not probably, but if you've cooked it 3 times and frozen it and so forth and smashed it up and put it into tiny little capsules and kept it for 30 years or something, then how good is it going to be after all of that? I'm not sure if it's going to do any good at all. Wouldn't it do more good to just eat it at the time? I mean, also, I don't know if capsules last that long either, because most tablets that I know, if you keep a box of paracetamol for a while, well, the capsules just burst after a while, if you notice. If you keep them in cold conditions or anything, they just burst. So there seems to be some logic to these weird methods of mothering, I think. Like trying to get the natural nutrition from the placenta, or trying not to use unnatural things like nappies, and trying not to safeguard your children. But these examples are taking them to the extreme in a large way, which obviously I don't think that most people would be able to do, because most people haven't got the ability or time or money to put these things into effect. Yeah, and to the extreme, they might not be safe and good either. Because it might not be safe and good to completely wrap your children up in cotton wool and so forth, but on the other extreme, it's not any better to go fully to the other extreme. You probably end up isolating yourself and alienating yourself from other parents as well. Like, I'm not sure how it goes down when they go to a toddler group or something, and you say your children never wears nappies and things like that. But everyone's got their own opinions on it, I guess. And I'm going to go now because I'm going to go swimming. Yep, got my question laid out. It's green. Bye!